Hey boys and girls, I've got some great news! There's a new dog hater on the block! And he speaks in Echo!
These lethal serial killers.
Kill me now!
Canine Aversion's fanbase have been quite a fascinating collection of specimen to gawk at from time to time, but now one of them has decided to start up his own dog hating channel. Joshua is the name, and knowledge on dog behaviour doesn't seem to be his specialty based on the fear-mongering and slight stupidity that went into this video.
Alright, is this guy really going to rant about his hatred for dogs?
Well, based on how it's called the dog rant. Nah, I was expecting you to rant about candles. This was a complete surprise.
And why he hates dogs? Yes, I am. And I am proud to do so. The reason I wanted to create this channel was mainly because I was inspired by this channel called I Hate Dogs, as well as Canine Aversion. Shout out to both YouTubers, by the way, especially I Hate Dogs, because he's the one who started all of this.
Inspired by Canine Aversion and I Hate Dogs, so we can already tell this video isn't going to have any accurate information or solid arguments due to how these two individuals are not experts on dogs and have done no research into dogs and dog behaviour, and will sprout any nonsense to constantly paint negative pictures of dogs and their owners at any chance they get. From Canine Aversion, who argues that dog lovers are like terrorists, and claims that Vsauce contributes to dog attacks because he isn't a dog hater, and I Hate Dogs, who has claimed that all dog owners are mentally ill, and has a reputation for defending animal abuse on the internet, so yeah. I'm pretty curious about what Joshua is going to present here, if those are the two people he goes to for information.
That these dogs attack innocent victims every single year. And the victims that they target most are children. Innocent children that literally witness their face being ripped off of their bodies and witnessing their own blood trickling down their own skin.
Wow. That description. I mean, his description here makes it like dogs are the furry versions of Chucky the doll, and that they just want to kill children because they enjoy it. While I do agree that children are more likely to be victims of dog attacks, if we want to go deeper into this subject matter, we need to take a look at dog behaviour, dog bite related injuries, and the statistics. As statistics will point out that not only are dog attacks rare, with only 0.3% of all attacks being serious cases, such as mauling, mutilating, and incidences which require plastic surgery, not only has the number dropped since the last decade according to dog bite statistics and statistics from surgeons, but studies have also pointed out that the frequency of attacks on children have actually declined. So while I'm not disagreeing with the fact that dog bites pose a health risk, the truth is, dog bites and attacks are pretty rare, and in fact according to experts, you're more likely to die choking than from a dog. And when looking into this subject matter, we had to keep in mind that when talking about attacks on children, we need to understand dog behaviour and why children are more likely to be victims, and to get the obvious out of the way, it has nothing to do with dogs just targeting children because they feel like it or because they rather attack kids than adults. Because while dogs are pretty smart animals, they don't have the same thinking capacity humans have, so they can't make choices or understand morals. Which is why owners' lack of responsibility plays the biggest contributors in why dog attacks occur in the first place. This is from collected statistics and data that takes into account all dog bite related injuries, including pit bull attacks and attacks on children. Certain situations which are normal to humans may be viewed differently, such as threatening to a dog, especially if they believe that their owner is in danger during the situation. While you talk about dogs like they're child serial killers, we deal with the information gathered which explains why kids tend to be targets. Such as how, according to petinsurance.com, researchers suggest that the main cause of aggression in dogs stems from territorial behaviour, which, as pointed out, children under the age of 6 were more likely to be bitten when a dog felt the kids were threatening to take his food or toys away. Because, to a young child, a dog is pretty much a giant teddy bear, and of course due to how young they are, they cannot understand what triggers a dog to become stressed out, angry or aggressive. Which is why it's up to the owners to make sure that these situations don't occur because they can tell through a dog's body language and the signs that they give off when they are either stressed out, want to be left alone, or are showing signs of aggression. They spoke about how dogs with anxiety and how an anxious dog, frightened under these circumstances, may be more prone to bite children. Those circumstances being separation, distress, sudden noises, loud noises, and unpredictable movements, which responsible owners always look out for, which is why millions of families and households with both dogs and children in them have been able to live happy lives without falling into the 0.3 number.
What is even more infuriating is that a lot of people are dog lovers and they continue to praise these lethal serial killers. The reason I say dogs are serial killers is that they literally wait until an adult or some other person either leaves the home or goes into another room, and then they wait for the child to not be looking or whatever, and then they maul it.
Okay, we're just going to repeat ourselves here, so I'm going to keep this one short. First of all, just in case you didn't know, do your research into basic definitions, mate, because here's what the word serial killer means. It's a person who commits crimes, because a serial killer has the thinking capacity and understands what morals are, so they know what they are doing, and they know that it's murder and killing, and they know that it's wrong. Serial killers don't care because they're serial killers. They're people who commit a series of murders, usually without a fixed motive, which dogs don't fall under because they're not serial killers, they're animals. And the problem is, due to how you don't understand the behaviour of these animals, you cannot understand why dogs attack in the first place, which is why it is suggested that education about dog bite related injuries and dog behaviour can help with lowering your risk. One factor which has played a role in dog attacks on children comes from the communication errors between them. Because while adults can understand a dog's body language and understand when they are upset or show aggression, with kids it's very different because they're children. You can't expect them to know everything about dogs at such a young age. Children are still experiencing abilities which will not develop fully until about 6 years of age, making them especially vulnerable to misunderstandings. Before an attack, the dog sends us a series of warning signs, calming signals, such as showing their teeth or growling. All this tells us that the dog feels uncomfortable enough to attack. These physical signs are obvious to us, but not to children, who believe that this is a game. So why do you think we talk about owner responsibility in these cases?
You shouldn't have to have an animal that takes away your freedom to the point to where they would literally attempt to kill you just because they felt uncomfortable.
Take away my freedom. Well, being someone who has been raised around dogs, one of them being quite an old dog who didn't like kids in any way, and would growl if a kid was near her, and being how I'm still alive, and have all my rights still intact along with my limbs, I would say that statement is a little bit bollocks, if you ask me. I mean, there are many people out there who can get up, walk and feed the dog, and go to work without worrying about their dog because they've trained them in the correct and responsible way. If dogs are so dangerous and so monstrous that they would kill anyone for not bowing down to their lifestyle, then why are statistics saying that they are rare?
Just imagine a person doing that. Imagine a human coming up to every person that they didn't know, and then they start beating them up for no reason. That's exactly what dogs do.
Well, no, that's completely incorrect. Otherwise, attacks would be much fucking higher if the entirety of the dog population attacks anyone they see as they walk on the street. I mean, Jesus, Crofts would look like a fucking Hostel movie if that was the case. I mean, what's with this over-exaggeration? Are you doing this on purpose, or did K Nana version promise you a blowjob if you did everything she wrote down on his notebook?
We don't need mutts in our society, and it sucks that a lot of people are not speaking out against this.
You don't need dogs. Dogs are not good for us.
I was built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on the gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna end.
I wanna be the
Why
best.
did you suddenly become the voice for everyone in society, mate? You don't speak for society, mate, so stop acting like, oh, we don't need mutts. Really? Dogs have benefited more to society than you have ever, mate. Have you ever saved a dying kid? Have you ever helped a veteran who fought for your life? Have you ever contributed to stopping drugs coming into your country? No, but dogs have on numerous occasions. I'm not here to bullshit with you, mate, but there are many different positive things which companionship between dogs and human beings brings, from the social impacts they have with children, from how they teach responsibility and how we can train them to help us in the workplace.
There are gonna be mutt lovers probably in my comment section saying, "Oh, it's the owner's fault, they have to train it." You shouldn't have to train an animal or any being in general not to be aggressive.
But that's like saying I shouldn't have to raise my kid because even as a baby they should know the difference between right or wrong. So you are expecting an animal to have the same thinking capacity of a human? Are you seriously going to think that because it's clear you know jack shit about dogs, but yet suddenly, because you watch some random douchebag rant on the internet for 20 minutes, suddenly you think that you're the next dog expert?
No other animal attacks humans on a daily basis.
Maybe because we're not keeping kangaroos in our homes and letting them sleep on our sofas. I mean, come on, use your brain here, mate. Why do you think there are more dog attacks than shark attacks? Have you ever stopped to think that due to how dogs are the popular family pet and thousands of them live alongside humans 24/7, do you think that maybe that could be the reason to why we have more dog bite attacks than any other animal who have the ability to attack but are not capable to live alongside us within society? Have you ever taken that into account?
Especially 5 million of them. Well, in reality, it's actually 20 million because another website says that 1 in every 3 to 4 dog attacks are reported. So multiply 5 million by 3 or 4, then you'll get somewhere around 15 to 20 million people.
Jesus Christ, let me guess, you didn't pass mathematics back in high school, did you?
Yet you people worship these worthless, lethal dogs.
I wouldn't say it's worship, but we just think that it's fucking insane that we should punish the whole canine species even when a large majority of them have never been involved in a serious dog attack, or dog attack in general, but you want to ban and punish them all anyway because you don't like them, and according to you, your hatred should be seen as a bigger priority than everybody else's intentions and everybody else's lives.
Why do you praise these deadly, legalized killers? But then again, I acknowledge that the amount of people killed by them are low, like 20 to 50, but in reported about like 100 to 300 deaths. But millions of them are disfigured. That is more than the amount of people that are killed and attacked by guns.
Incorrect. The number of serious dog attack cases, which include cases of surgery, makes up for about 23,000 hospital visits for dog-related injuries between 2015 and 2018. So if your claim is correct, and if your claim is correct about how serious dog attacks result in bigger numbers than those killed by guns, then why are your sources telling me that you are incorrect? As your sources are telling me that 36,000 Americans are killed by guns each year, with 2017 being the highest number of 39,000 deaths that year alone.
Yet you guys continue to not care about these victims. You continue to worship them. You can be exposed to as many dog attack reports as you can, yet you guys don't care, or at the very least, you are not aware.
So because we won't ban our dogs and condemn them as serial killers, that means we don't care. When in reality, we have suggested and we have supported ideas and different preventional methods which have been brought up by experts that can lower your risk of a dog attack. But here's the funny thing. You and the dog-hating community are always trying to discredit these methods and suggestions, which can save thousands of lives every single year.
They beg for attention without doing anything for you in return. The only thing that they do is sit around making noise, stinking up the house, pooping all over the place. I could go on, but I'm done. I'm done for today.
So, how long do you want to give this channel before he runs away and hides like the rest of them? I predict roughly about 2 weeks. But, who knows, maybe it'll be shorter, maybe it'll be longer. All I can tell is that, if he does find this video, his reaction isn't going to be very civil. Well, based on his previous comments, it seems what we have here is the birth of a newer version. This is going to be fun.